What's up everyone and welcome back. So after we have initialized our database in the previous session, as you can see right now we have a list of items, correct? And those items we want to right now retrieve that. So we have set the dependency injection in the code and we are just ready to go ahead and retrieve this data, but from a coding perspective, correct? So the first thing we want to set up is installing Cosmos DB on the server.data layer, which we are going to have the repository that we are going to use. So basically let's call this one. Let's install the library Microsoft.Azure.Cosmos. Yeah, here we go. Let's install this one. And by installing this library, actually, this is the SDK of the Azure Cosmos DB for .NET. This is the library that contains everything you need to interact with the Cosmos database, basically by reading, updating, inserting documents, making transactions, querying data, and all other stuff. And it is very advanced in a way that it's managing like basically it's managing the caching, it's managing some concurrency stuff. So it is something that's very good. So the first thing that I want to do after installing the library is I will be basically we want to inject over here an instance of the Azure Cosmos DB client, but it's highly recommended by Microsoft to inject that instance as a singleton. So you have a single instance of the Azure Cosmos DB client running across your application, even in the case of scaling, because by default, as I've said, it's managing caching, managing the connections perfectly, in addition to concurrency. So by Microsoft, it's highly recommended to inject that instance basically as a singleton instance. So I will create a class over here. I will call it dependency injection extensions, where we are going to have the dependency extensions from the data layer. So like that. And over here, this one is going to be public static. And we will have an extension method that's going to be applicable for the services over here. So then the dependencies of the data layer will be here, and each layer has its own dependencies. So let's call public static void add I will call this one add Cosmos DB client. And because this is an extension method in C#, so it has to be static and it will be available for the iService collection. So basically we need to install Microsoft.extensions.dependency injection.abstractions. So find and install the latest version. Come on. Yeah, we need this one. Perfect. And services. So right now this method will be available for the dependency injection. We're going to see how we're going to use that. Then we'll say .add singleton, just like that. And the instance that we want to register is actually a Cosmos DB client. So service provider new Cosmos client. And in that case, here we go. So as you can see, this Cosmos client actually takes some options. One of them is the connection string. So we need to make sure that we are going to pass the connection string over here. And let's pass it. So this is what we need to. So right now we have a singleton instance of the Cosmos client available for the whole lifetime of the application. And this is the difference between singleton and scope. Scope, whenever you make a request and you are like a service that's depending on this instance, a new instance will be created. While this one, when the application runs an instance will be created, and then it will be used across the lifetime of the application. And yeah, this is all what we need. So right now I have this method. I put it over here just to keep things organized. Let's go right now to the startup.cs, and in the Azure Functions, I'm going to say builder.services.add CosmosClient, and let's add the method. We have to add the using for the server.data, so you have the method, and right now we need to pass the connection string. So to fetch the connection string from the Azure portal or from the Cosmos emulator, what we are going to do, we are not going to put it hard-coded over here. We are going to store that actually in the local.settings.json. So I will have over here Cosmos DB connection string. So let me go right now to the emulator and fetch that key. So basically, if you go to quick start, here you can see primary connection string. So let's take it, paste it over here. On your Azure account, you can go to Azure portal. On the left-hand pane, go to keys, and you can find just the exact same variable if you are not using the emulator and you're using an actual Cosmos DB. So right now, we have those in the configurations. To reach these configurations and to catch the values available over there, we can just say var configurations equals builder dot here we need to get the configurations. So let me see. Sorry, dot get context dot configuration. Yeah, here we go. I forgot this get context. So right now, this configuration is actually, I'll call it just config for easy access. This config contains, we don't need this one. I added that by mistake. This is the config that contains the one from over here, and later on we are going to add some. You can add your app settings.json and stuff like that, but we don't need this. Basically, we need to have this. We need to use this local setting that's available for us, and then we'll use the Azure app configurations and key vault to store some connections on the cloud. So let's fetch that value from over here and put it here. So look at that, this is very neat. So right now we can create our repositories, and we will be okay actually having accessing the Cosmos client from our repositories, and this is what we are going to do in the next session. So see you in the next one.